Good morning, students. Till yesterday's class, we discussed the air refrigeration cycles. In that, we studied the reversed Carnot cycle and reversed Breton cycle, that is also called the Bell-Coleman cycle, in which the open air and closed air refrigeration system was studied and compared them. After that, we solved the different problems, different types of problems on reversed Carnot cycle and Bell-Coleman cycle. I hope you understand that refrigeration cycles, air refrigeration cycles particularly. In air refrigeration cycles, the working fluid is air. We used the properties of air to solve the problems in Bell-Coleman and also reversed Carnot cycle. Now, the application of air refrigeration cycles we are going to study in this class. It is also under the unit 1 and part 2, that part 2 contains air refrigeration systems. That air refrigeration cycles which are studied in the part 1, which can be applied for this air refrigeration systems. Generally, air refrigeration systems are applicable for aircrafts, submarines, and rocketry engines. Here we have the syllabus. We have in the syllabus aircraft refrigeration systems. In aircraft refrigeration systems, open air Bell-Coleman cycle can be used to cool the cockpit or cabin of the aircraft. Here, we are going to study different types of air refrigeration systems we have in the syllabus. Before going into the actual subject, what is the necessity of air refrigeration system in aircrafts? As we know that introduction to air refrigeration systems, the high-speed passenger aircrafts, jet aircrafts, and missiles has introduced the need for compact and simple air refrigeration systems, which capable of high capacity with a minimum reduction of workload. That means the aircrafts are needed the compact and high capacity air refrigeration systems with minimum reduction of workload means the work required to the refrigeration systems taken by the work producer in the aircrafts. The refrigeration system requires power, and this requirement needed to transport the additional weight. Therefore, air refrigeration systems are most efficient in aircrafts because aircrafts having the inbuilt work producing unit and work consuming unit compressor, main compressor is there. Without any additional weight to carry the compressor along with the aircraft for the refrigeration system, the already built-in air compressor can be used for this refrigeration system in aircrafts. Coming to the merits, what are the different disadvantages of air refrigeration systems used in aircrafts? First one is air is easily available, we know that, and working fluid, easily available working fluid and free of cost. Air having no cost, therefore it can be used in aircrafts without any hesitation. And second one is the air is non-toxic. We know that air is the user-friendly and non-toxic, non-flammable. It cannot be flames, it cannot be burned, and therefore we can avoid accidents, fire accidents in aircrafts. Therefore, air is a non-toxic and non-flammable. Non-toxic means it is not harmful to the human beings. And third advantage is there is no need of additional compressor in the system. So already I said in the introduction, there is no need of additional compressor for the refrigeration systems. Already built-in compressor can be used for the refrigeration systems. And fourth advantage is the air is light in weight per ton of refrigeration. The weight of the air is very less to produce for every 1 ton of refrigeration cooling load. And the air can be directly used for cooling process. The air can be directly involved in the cooling process in the cabin without any without any harmful to the human beings, because air is non-toxic and non-flammable. Air can be directly involved in the cooling process. And sixth one is pressure is low in the system, because air having the low pressures, therefore the design of piping and ducting is very simple. Simple design is required, simple design is needed for the air refrigeration system because of low pressures in the air refrigeration systems. These are the 6 advantages are there for the air refrigeration system. That's why we are using in this air refrigeration cycle, Bell-Coleman cycle in air refrigeration systems. Aircraft refrigeration systems is also called. And merits also there for the air having low COP, air refrigeration cycle having the low COP. Already we studied in the air refrigeration cycles, approximately the COP near to 1 or less than 1 we got in the problems. That's why it has the low COP. And also the rate of air circulation per ton of refrigeration is very high. The amount of air required to produce per ton of refrigeration is very high. These are the 2 disadvantages are there for the air, and almost the advantages are dominate the disadvantages. That's why we are using the air refrigeration cycles in the aircrafts. Clear, students? Let us go the air refrigeration systems, types of air refrigeration systems or methods of air refrigeration systems. The various methods are 6 methods are there in this refrigeration systems, air refrigeration systems. First one is simple air cooling system, simple air evaporative cooling system, bootstrap air cooling system, bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. The first one is simple air cooling system. Second one is the modification of a simple air cooling system. Simple air evaporative cooling system is the just modification of simple air cooling system to produce low temperature in the cabin. And also fourth one, bootstrap air evaporative cooling system is also modified version of bootstrap air cooling system. And fifth one is reduced ambient air cooling system. And last one is a regenerative air cooling system. These are the 6 air refrigeration systems or methods of air refrigeration systems used in aircraft to produce a low temperature in the cabin. That low temperature in the cabin is also called here DART, D-A-R-T, DART. DART means dry air rated temperature. Dry air rated temperature of after cooling turbine in the cabin is called DART, D-A-R-T. To maintain the low DART, we require these 6 types of 6 methods of air refrigeration systems. Let us go one by one. I will explain. First one is simple air cooling system. Look at this diagram, simple air cooling system. This is the aircraft which is moving in this direction. This is the aircraft which is moving in this direction, and in opposite direction, the ambient air entered into the aircraft. Clear, students? The air entered into the aircraft. During this entering of air into the aircraft, the ramming action will be takes place at the in front of the aircraft, because at the in front of the aircraft there is a diffuser. Diffuser will be provided at the in front of aircraft. Due to that diffuser, the air can be compressed initially during entering into the aircraft. After entering the aircraft, the air is called the ram air. Ram air means after ramming action, the air velocity will be suddenly reduced to the 0. Before entering into the aircraft, the air velocity is high, which is equal to the aircraft velocity. After entering into the aircraft, the air velocity is reduced to the 0. This kinetic energy will be converted into the pressure energy at the in front of the aircraft in the diffuser. This kinetic energy, conversion of kinetic energy into the pressure energy is called the ramming action. Ramming action. That entering air, after entering into the aircraft, the air is called the ram air. Clear, students? The pressure of ram air is high when compared to the ambient air which is entering into the aircraft. After ramming action, after compression in the diffuser, some of the air will be taken into the heat exchanger and the remaining air will be entered into the main compressor of the aircraft. This is the main compressor, which is having main compressor, which is coupled with the gas turbine here. And after entering into the main compressor, the compressed air will be diverted towards the refrigeration system. Some of the air is diverted toward the refrigeration system, and the remaining air will be entered into the combustion chamber. And then it will be entered into the gas turbine and then nozzle, which will be exhausted from the aircraft. Due to the high velocity gases, jet gases, the aircraft will be moving in the forward direction. Clear, students? The air which is compressed in the main compressor, some of the air is taken and diverted towards the refrigeration system. This diverted air will be passing first into from the heat exchanger. In this heat exchanger, the ram air is used for cooling of air, compressed air coming from the main compressor. The air which is coming from the main compressor is cooled by using the ram air, because after compression, the air temperature is high when compared to the ram air. This low temperature ram air is used to cool the air coming from the main compressor. This is the heat exchanger. Heat exchanger is the device to use to exchange the heat between two fluids. One is the ram air, cold fluid. Another one is the compressed air coming from the main compressor, which is used as a hot air. This hot air will be reduce the temperature by absorbing the heat by the ram air. After cooling, the cold air that will be entered into the cooling turbine. This is the cooling turbine. The pressure the pressure is same as that of the main compressor before the cooling turbine. The high pressure, low temperature air will be entered into the cooling turbine. In cooling turbine, the expansion process takes place. During this expansion, the pressure and temperature of the air will be reduced, and finally, the air temperature, reduced air temperature will be sent to the cabin, air to the cabin. And the air which is used for cooling process, ram air, that will be entered into the heat exchanger will be sent to the atmosphere through a certain mechanism, cooling fan, air fan mechanism. This fan is coupled with the turbine, because turbine will be produce some amount of work. That work is used to run the fan. What is the purpose of this fan? The fan is used to circulate the air thoroughly into the heat exchanger. The more amount of air will be sucked by this fan into the heat exchanger. Due to this high amount of air sucked by the fan into the heat exchanger, the cooling process will be effectively done in the heat exchanger. Clear, students? Finally, the low temperature and pressure air will be entered into the cabin of the aircraft to cool or to take the cooling load from the cabin. Clear, students? This is the simple air cooling system. It is having one cooling turbine and one heat exchanger and one cooling air fan to increase the air circulation into the heat exchanger. Let us go for the TS diagram for the simple air refrigeration system or simple air cooling system. This is the TS diagram, which is explained as earlier slide. A simple air cooling system for aircrafts is shown in figure. The main components of this system are main compressor driven by the gas turbine, which is inbuilt into the in the aircraft, a heat exchanger, a cooling turbine, and a cooling air fan. These are the components which are used in the simple air cooling system, which are used for aircrafts. The air required for refrigeration system is bled off from the main compressor. Bled off means taken by the taken from the main compressor. Some of the air is bled off, some of the air is diverted from the main compressor towards the refrigeration cabin, and the remaining amount of air only entered into the combustion chamber to produce the power to move the aircrafts. Okay, that bled off from the main compressor, some of the air is bled off from the main compressor. This high pressure and high temperature air is cooled initially in the heat exchanger. This high pressure after compression, high temperature air is initially cooled in the heat exchanger. This is the heat exchanger, where ram air is used for cooling. For the cooling process, the ram air which is taken from the aircraft. It is further cooled in the cooling turbine or expansion in the cooling turbine by the process of expansion. And also the air which is cooled in the heat exchanger will be expanded in the cooling turbine. During this expansion, the temperature and pressure of the air will be reduced. The work of this turbine, whenever the expansion process takes place, the work produced by the turbine is used to drive the cooling fan, which draws the cooling air through the heat exchanger. The fan is required to draw the cooling air from the through the heat exchanger to increase the air circulation rate and to produce high cooling effect or high cooling process. This system is good for ground surface cooling and for low flight speeds. The system mainly used for low speed flights or low speed aircrafts and ground surface cooling in the flights or in the aircrafts. This is the TS diagram, temperature entropy diagram. Initially, the air entered into the aircraft at state point 1 at ambient pressure. Ambient air pressure is P1. After entering into the aircraft due to ramming action in the diffuser, the air pressure will be increases from ambient air to the ideal ram pressure. This is the P2 is the ideal ram pressure. Ideal means it's the isentropic. The air, if the air follows the isentropic process, the pressure increases vertically in TS diagram from 1 to 2. But in actual, during entering into the aircraft, in the diffuser, there is a pressure drop takes place due to the friction between the air and the diffuser surface. So due to that pressure drop, the actual pressure after ramming action is P2 dash. Actual ram pressure is P2 dash. The state of the air after entering is 2 dash. The slight pressure drop in the diffuser from P2 to P2 dash due to friction between air and diffuser. So finally, we have the state of the air at 2 dash after ramming action. From there itself, the air entering into the main compressor. In main compressor, the compression process takes place from actual ram pressure to the main compressor pressure P3. This is the 2 dash to 3 is the isentropic compression in the compressor. 2 dash to 3 dash is the actual compression in the compressor. This actual process should be considered whenever the compressor efficiency is less than 100%. This is actual cycle. 2 dash to 3 is the ideal process. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the ideal cycle. 1, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4, 5 dash, 6 is the actual cycle. So 2 dash to 3 dash is the actual process, actual compression process in the compressor due to the less efficiency of compressor. So actually the air state of the air is after compression is at 3 dash. From 3 dash, the air is diverted, some of the air is diverted towards the refrigeration system, and this is cooled in the heat exchanger from 3 dash to 4 in the heat exchanger by using ram air, which is at a state point 2 dash. At a 2 dash, ram air is used to cool the air after compression from 3 dash to 4. 3 dash to 4 is the cooling process in the heat exchanger at constant pressure. That is the main compressor pressure. From 4, the air is entered into the cooling turbine, where it is expanded from 4 to 5 isentropically, and 4 to 5 dash is actual process, actual expansion process. Due to the inefficiency of the turbine, the state of the air after expansion is at 5 dash. Okay. The temperature at 5 dash is greater than the temperature at 5 during isentropic compression. Because of less efficiency of the turbine, the temperature coming out of the turbine increases when compared to the isentropic expansion. The final state of the air after expansion is 5 dash. At 5 dash, the air having the low pressure, it is the cabin pressure, PC. After up to cabin pressure, the turbine will be expanded, and 5 dash is the low pressure, that is a cabin pressure and low temperature in the cycle. This low pressure and low temperature of air is entered into the cabin. where the heat is absorbed from the cabin and the air is again temperature increases from 5 dash to 6. 6 is the state of the air at exit of the cabin. After absorbing the heat from the cabin, the state of the air is at 0.6. So finally, the air exit of the cabin, that is the sent to the atmosphere from the cabin at 0.6. So heat is absorbing during this process 5 dash to 6 in the cabin. This is the refrigeration effect produced in the cabin, and work consuming by the unit is 2 dash to 3 dash. And the work produced by the turbine 4 to 5 dash will be used to run the fan. So total input to this system is from 2 dash to 3 dash, and total output from this system is cooling effect or refrigeration effect from 5 dash to 6. Clear, students? This is the TS diagram for the simple air cooling system. Here, one by one, I explained here the various processes involved in the simple air cooling system. First one is ramming process. Ramming process means the flowing of air into the aircraft through the diffuser, which is located in front of the aircraft. Let the pressure and temperature of ambient air is P1 and T1 initially. The ambient air is rammed isentropically from pressure P1 and T1 to the pressure P2 and T2. Isentropically, the pressure and temperature increases from P2 to P2 and T2. This ideal ramming action is shown by the vertical line 1, 2 in the TS diagram. In actual practice, because of internal friction due to irreversibilities, the temperature of the rammed air is more than T2. Thus, the actual ramming process is shown by the curve 1, 2 dash, which is adiabatic but not isentropic due to friction. Clear, students? The pressure and temperature of the rammed air is now P2 dash and T2 dash respectively. Here the T2 dash is equal to T2 and the pressure will be reduced due to friction. During the ideal or actual ramming process, the total energy or enthalpy remains constant. That is H2 equal to H2 dash. Either it is ideal or actual, the total enthalpy remains constant. H2 equal to H2 dash. That's why temperatures are equal during ideal or actual compression, T2 equal to T2 dash, but the pressure will be different due to friction. If V is the aircraft velocity or the velocity of air relative to the aircraft in meters per second, then kinetic energy of outside air relative to aircraft. Here, the air is entering rushly into the aircraft with the velocity is equal to the aircraft velocity. So kinetic energy before entering into the aircraft, before entering into the aircraft, kinetic energy of air is of mv square. Kinetic energy is of into mv square actual formula. Of into m into v square is the kinetic energy of air which is entering into the aircraft. Here we are going to calculate the kinetic energy per unit mass, therefore it is taken as 1. Therefore it is taken as v square by 2. This is the kinetic energy in joules per kg. For every kg, this much of energy is converting into the pressure energy in joules. If it is converted into the kilojoules, then it can be divided by 1000. Then we will get the kilojoules per Kelvin, kg, kilojoules per kg. So V square by 2000 kilojoules per kg is the kinetic energy of air before entering into the aircraft. This kinetic energy will be nullified during entering into the aircraft. This kinetic energy, after nullifying, this kinetic energy is converted to the pressure energy. Therefore, by applying the steady state energy equation between 1 and 2, 1 means before entering into the aircraft. This is the 1 state point 1 before entering into the aircraft. After entering into the aircraft, the condition is 2 after diffusing process. By applying the steady state equation between these two, change in enthalpy H2 minus H1 is equal to change in kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy means before entering the kinetic energy is V square by 2000. After entering into the aircraft, the kinetic energy is zero because the velocity after entering is zero. Therefore, velocity is zero. Velocity is zero. Therefore, the kinetic energy is also zero. So the change in kinetic energy between these 2 points is v square by 2000 itself. So this is the steady state energy equation before and after entering into the aircraft. From this, Cp into T2 minus Cp into T1 we can write as enthalpies in terms of temperatures. Therefore, T2 is equal to T1 plus V square by 2000 into Cp. This is the formula to calculate the temperature after compression in the diffuser. Clear, students? This is the isentropic temperature after compression in the diffuser. After completing the T2 by T1, it's equal to 1 plus V square by 2000 in Cp into T1. From this equation, we can convert into T2 by T1 by taking the T1 on the left hand side. T2 by T1 equal to 1 plus V square by 2000 Cp into T1. Or T2 dash by T1. Here, the T2 is equal to T2 dash. Temperatures remains constant during the 1-2 process because enthalpy remains constant during isentropic compression or actual compression. T2 dash by T1 equal to 1 plus V square by 2000 Cp into T1 since C2 equal to T2 dash. We know that Cp minus Cv equal to R. Or Cp, if we take Cp as common, 1 plus Cv by Cp equal to R, or Cp into 1 minus 1 by gamma is equal to R. Cv by Cp is 1 by gamma, or Cp by Cv called gamma. So from this Cp equal to R into gamma by gamma minus 1. By substituting this Cp value into this equation, substituting the value of Cp in equation 2, T2 by T1 or T2 dash by T1 equal to 1 plus V square by V square into gamma minus 1 by 2000 into gamma RT. Gamma RT and T1 is there, gamma RT1, where R is in kilojoules per kg Kelvin. If R is noted in joules per kg Kelvin, then equation 3 may be written as follows. T2 by T1 or T2 dash by T1 equal to 1 plus V square into gamma minus 1 by, in place of 2000, we can write as 2 into gamma RT1, where R is joules per kg Kelvin here. Here R is kilojoules per kg Kelvin when we write in 2000. Therefore, 1 plus V square into gamma minus 1 by 2A square. A square means A is root gamma RT1. Here A is, we can take it as square root of gamma RT1. Otherwise, gamma RT1 equal to A square. This is the A is the sonic velocity of air. Sonic velocity of air or aircraft. V is the air velocity which is entering into the aircraft. A is the sonic velocity. So actual velocity of air to the sonic velocity of air is called the Mach number. This is the local sonic or acoustic velocity at the ambient air condition is equal to square root of gamma RT1, where R is in joules per kg Kelvin. Therefore, T2 by T1 equal to T2 dash by T1 equal to 1 plus gamma 1 by 2 here, 1 plus gamma 1 by 2 is there, V square by A square is there, V square by A square is equal to M square. V by A equal to M. That is the Mach number. Mach number of the flight, it is defined as the ratio of aircraft velocity to the local sonic velocity. It is the sonic velocity of the aircraft, is the local aircraft velocity. Clear, students? The temperature T2 equal to T2 dash is called the stagnation temperature. After entering into the aircraft, the temperature is stagnant. The temperature of air is called the stagnant temperature. The air becomes zero velocity. It will be stagnated within the aircraft. The stagnation pressure after isentropic compression P2 is given by P2 by P1 equal to T2 by T1 all for gamma by gamma minus 1. It is the adiabatic rule applied for the isentropic process. Due to the irreversibility compression in the ram, the air reaches point 2 dash instead of 2. Here, the air reaches 2 dash instead of 2 because some friction will be developed in the diffuser during the compression process. Therefore, the actual end point of the air after diffuser is 2 dash. 2 dash. and the pressure will be decreases. After entering into the aircraft, the stagnation pressure is P2 dash. The pressure P2 dash may be obtained from the expression ram efficiency. It depends on the ram efficiency. Ram efficiency is equal to actual rise in pressure by isentropic rise in pressure. Actual rise in pressure is P2 dash minus P1 by P2 minus P1 is the isentropic rise in pressure. From this equation, we can calculate the P2 dash after getting the P2 from this adiabatic rule. This is the some equations to calculate the pressure and temperature after ramming. Then second process is compression process. Here in TS diagram from 2 dash to 3 dash or 2 dash to 3 is the compression process. This is the isentropic compression. This is the actual compression in the main compressor. The isentropic compression of air in the main compressor is represented by the line 2 dash to 3. In actual practice, because of internal friction due to irreversibilities, the actual compression is represented by the curve T2 dash to 3 dash. Due to the irreversibility, less efficiency of the compressor, the process becomes 2 dash to 3 dash. The work done during this compression process is given by MCP delta T formula across the compressor. MA mass of air entering into the compressor, CP is the mass of air bled from the main compressor for refrigeration purpose, and CP is the specific heat of air, and T3 dash to T2 dash. T3 dash is the compression temperature of air after compression. T2 dash is the temperature of air before compression. This is the MA is taken as mass of air bled. How much amount of air will be taken from the compressor for the refrigeration process is to calculate the work consumption by the compressor for refrigeration. This is not actual work consumption by the compressor because the sum of the air is taken to the combustion chamber and some of the air is taken to the refrigeration process. We need the work consumption by the compressor for the refrigeration process. That's why we are taking MA, the air bled from the main compressor for the refrigeration. And the next process is cooling process after compression. The compressed air is cooled by the ram air in the heat exchanger. The process is shown by 3 dash to 4. In actual practice, there is a pressure drop in the heat exchanger, which is not shown in the figure. Actually, when the air is passing through the heat exchanger, the small pressure drop will be takes place. The temperature of air decreases from T3 dash to T4. The heat rejected in the heat exchanger during the cooling process is given by the heat rejection in the heat exchanger QR equal to MA, mass of air passing through the heat exchanger, specific heat, and decrease in temperature during the process of heat exchanging. T3 dash is the temperature of air before heat exchanger, and T4 is the temperature of air after heat exchanger. This is the amount of heat rejected in the heat exchanger. And next process is expansion process. The cooled air is now expanded isentropically in the cooling turbine as shown by the curve 4-5. This is the 4-5 is the isentropic expansion in the cooling turbine. 4-5 dash is the actual expansion in the cooling turbine. In actual practice, because of internal friction due to irreversibilities, the actual expansion in the cooling turbine is shown by the 4-5 dash. The work done by the cooling turbine during this expansion process is given by, again, MCP delta T across the turbine. The work of expansion, WR, is equal to MA CP, mass of air passing through the turbine, and the specific heat and decrease in temperature across the turbine. T4 is the before and T5 dash is the after turbine, the temperature of air. The work of this turbine is used to drive the cooling air fan, which draws cooling air from the heat exchanger. This work produced by the turbine is not used for our compressor. It is only used for to run the air fan. And last process is refrigeration process in this. Air from the cooling turbine, the air coming from the cooling turbine at 5 dash after expansion is sent to the cabin and the cockpit, where it gets heated by the heat of equipment and occupants. The cabin having the equipment and occupants, which the heat released by the equipment and occupants can be absorbed by the air which is passing into the cabin from the turbine. This process shown by the curve 5 dash to 6. The refrigerating effect produced or heat absorbed in the given is given by refrigeration effect. It is called the refrigeration effect or heat absorbed in the cabin RE equal to mass of air passing through the cabin, specific heat again, and change in temperature across the cabin. This is the temperature of air at exit of cabin, or temperature of air which is maintained in the cabin, temperature of cabin, and temperature of air which is passing into the cabin, T5 dash. This is the inside temperature of cabin, T6. This is the refrigeration effect produced in the system. Therefore, COP of the simple air cooling system can be write as refrigeration effect produced by the system divided by net work supplied to the system for the refrigeration process. So refrigeration effect produced is MCP T6 minus T5 dash divided by work given to the compressor here, MA Cp into T3 dash minus T2, because 2 dash to 3 dash is the compression process. This is the work given to the compressor for the refrigeration. MCP into T3 dash minus T2 dash. Of course, the work produced by the turbine is also there, but this work produced by the turbine is not utilized to run the compressor. This work is only for to run the fan, air fan, to draw the air from the heat exchanger. Clear, students? From this, ME CPA cancel, and the remaining equation is T6 minus T5 dash by T3 dash minus T2 dash is used to calculate the COP of this simple air cooling system. Some equations are there for the simple cooling system. If Q tons of refrigeration is cooling load in the cabin having the tonnage is Q, then the air required for the refrigeration process can be calculated from this equation. Actually, the air taken, heat taken by the air from the cabin is MA into Cp into T6 minus T5 dash is the equation, which is equal to cooling load which is produced in the cabin Q in tons. If it is multiplied by 210, then it will be getting in kilojoules per minute. So refrigeration effect is that actual refrigeration effect produced by the system, and this is the theoretical refrigeration effect by the cycle. By equating these two, then we can get MA equal to 210 Q by Cp into T6 minus T5 dash in kg per minute. This much of air required to produce tons of refrigeration effect in the cabin. And power required for the refrigeration system, we know that the work required is MA into Cp into T3 dash minus T2 dash during the compression process. It is in kilojoules per minute, then divided by 60, then we will get in kilowatts. This is the power required to the system to produce Q tons of refrigeration. And COP of the refrigeration system is that refrigeration effect divided by work produced or power required. Refrigeration effect is Q into 210, power required is MA into Cp into T3 dash minus T2 dash by 60. Clear, students? As we know that 210 into Q by MA into Cp into T3 dash minus T2 dash is the work required in kilojoules per minute. This is the 210 Q is the kilojoules per minute. If it is represented in power, P into 60 is the MA into Cp into T3 dash minus T2 dash is the P into 60. Therefore, 210 into Q by P into 60 is the formula to calculate the COP. So one is the mass required to the cabin to produce the refrigeration effect. Another one is the power required for the system, and COP of the system is like. This is a simple air cooling system. Simple air cooling system. It is one of the method to for the air refrigeration system for the aircrafts. I hope you understand for the system. Once again, go through this video and look at this video to understand this simple air cooling system. In next class, I will explain the problems, worked examples on this simple system. Till now, I am closing this class. Okay, students, bye. Have a nice day.